What if I tell you that mistakes during your journey, your health journey, your mindfulness journey, any kind of journey that you decided to take, any kind of goals that you have set for yourself, and mistakes are not just okay to have, it's okay to experience some failures on your way, but actually, what if absence of mistakes, if everything goes perfect, smooth, is actually a red flag? Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. And today I want to talk about mistakes. I already have a video on my channel about failure, and I share there how I see failures and why I think it's actually a good idea to use failure to your benefits, like changing your mindset, asking yourself some mindful questions and kind of learning from that experience. But recently I came across one idea and it feels so true to me that I decided to make a separate video about that in order kind of to keep it also and to stay accountable to that idea. So what if you decided to do something? Let's say you decided to lose weight, or you decided to run in the morning, or you decided to do resistance training 2 times a week, and you are doing it and everything kind of goes perfectly. There is no resistance, there is no inside fight, you are not skipping, everything goes perfectly. What if something like this is happening? It's actually kind of a bad sign, a red flag that something is not right. The first thing that definitely I agree with in this term is this idea that if we do something new, if we're making some efforts, if we are trying to change our habits, it cannot be too easy, because if it's too easy, probably we are not working hard enough. And in this case, absence of mistakes is actually the sign that you are not working hard enough, that you are not leaving your comfort zone, that probably you are leaving your comfort zone, but you are trying way too hard and you're trying to be perfect. And we already know that perfectionism and trying to be perfect in what you're doing is actually a very bad sign, because it leads to burnout, it leads to giving up and kind of crashing your goals completely. It leads to setting very unrealistic goals and all those issues and problems connected with that. So obviously, if you see that everything goes way too easy, or kind of you are getting obsessed and trying to kind of hit everything and not skip even a single day, even though when you kind of like sick or there are some other things happening in your life, probably it's not okay. And mistake in this case, it's an evidence of your efforts, it's evidence of your transformation, it's evidence that your brain is learning something new, and that's why absence of mistakes is actually a bad thing. Next thing, it's something that I've learned recently, thanks to this idea of neuroscience and neuroplasticity, which become very popular in pop psychology and like in pop science. So mistake, it's a very important factor for brain to actually to learn, to change, to build new neural connections in the brain, because actually brain is learning from errors, brain is learning from mistakes, because that's the way for brain to analyze what it's not working, why it's not working, and change something. And in case everything goes well, brain is just living in this loop, in this repetition. And we already all know that brain loves habits, brain loves routines, brain loves repetition, because in this case brain can go into this automated mode and save energy, and we know that brain loves saving energy. So when it's all kind of going like this easy, brain is not growing, brain is not changing. So actually you are not changing your life, and probably the reason why you set for yourself all those ambitious goals, and the reason why you are trying to build something new, because probably you are not happy with your current life. That's why you are trying to bring into your life new habits or get rid of some old bad habits. And in case brain doesn't stop in order to analyze or change something, and it's keep going into this autopilot mode, then there is no neuroplasticity, there is no way to build new neurons, and there is no that progress, this self-progress, this self-transformation that we want to have, right? And the last point, why I think having mistake is extremely important, and extremely important actually to have this mistake, and it's a sign that in case you do not have them, there is something wrong. It's this idea of blind spots. And sometimes when we're planning something, when we are setting some goals, we have a plan. We are thinking, okay, I'm in this point A, I want to be in this point B, and in order to reach that point B, I need to do this and this, or I need to kind of have these habits or something like this. And in theory, first it sounds great, but we already know that all the difficulties coming into the game once we put all this theory into practice. And mistake, it's a very good tool for us to analyze what is actually working for us, what doesn't. And it's a way to find some blind spots. Let's say you decided that you want to run every morning, and you think, okay, I will do it in this time, on these days, in that way. And when you actually start running, you see that instead of being able to do it every single day, you are only able to do it 2 or 3 times a week, because you understand that probably you didn't take into account traffic on some days in case you're going to do running outside. Maybe you have some other responsibilities that you simply didn't take into account. Maybe you understand that the goal was too big and too ambitious for you right now, and maybe for now you cannot do it 7 days a week. For now you can do it only 2 times a week, and it's already a great start. So while in theory, in your head, everything look perfect and nice, when you actually start doing something, you see some kind of mistakes, because instead of doing it 7 days, you can do it only 2 days. So it's kind of mistake. But there is something you can learn from this mistake. You can understand that this goal that you have set for yourself, it's not realistic. So maybe for a while, you're gonna do it only 2 times a week. Maybe 6 months later, you're gonna make it 3 times a week or 4 times a week. And eventually 1 year later or so, you're gonna be able to make it every single day, just as you planned. And your idea is still possible, it's still realistic, just this idea needs more steps, more milestones, and more adjustment, more details, planning, etc. Or let's say you decided to follow a diet, and you decided to do meal preparation at home and make all your meals are homemade. Again, in theory it's great, but once you start doing it, you see that kind of it's not happening. Maybe you don't have enough time in the morning to make breakfast. Maybe you kind of too sleepy still, and it's hard for you to get up a bit earlier before your work in order to prepare yourself meal. So it's a kind of mistake, because your plan was like that, but in reality it's not happening. But this is a way to learn from this mistake. For example, instead of making your breakfast in the morning, you will do some kind of meal prep in the evening beforehand. Or maybe you can ask your family members to help you. Maybe like your partner can do it for you, your children, or like somebody else. Or maybe instead of cooking it yourself, you can find a nice place where you can take your breakfast. Or your breakfast can be very simple. Maybe it can be just like yogurt and fruits instead of that breakfast that you imagine in your head it's gonna be. So probably the first feeling in this case is going to be like disappointed, because you wanted to have a very nice, big, protein, fiber-rich breakfast every morning, but you understand that it's not happening. So kind of we see a mistake here. But we see this mistake because we didn't take into account some data. We didn't know exactly what's gonna work for us, what will not work for us. We had this so-called blind spot. And because we had this mistake, we saw that it didn't work. It's definitely not a reason to blame ourselves, because, oh my God, I was planning to have this lovely breakfast every morning, or I was planning to run in the park every single day, but I'm a failure because I cannot run every day, or I cannot make myself this nice breakfast every single morning. Instead of blaming yourself and being harsh on yourself, you can use this experience, this mistake, as a way to reanalyze the situation, change something, adjust, start small, and kind of build up this habit in a slowly in a time. So kind of mistake give us this chance to make our theoretical idea in a practical aspect, make it realistic. So in theory your idea can be perfect, but only thanks to mistakes this idea actually can become real, can get a real shape. So my short message here in this very short video, that mistake a very helpful tool. Mistake, it's not something we should try to avoid. Mistake, it's not a sign that the strategy you have chosen, the plan that you have decided to follow, or the goal that you have set for yourself is a wrong one. No, it only tells us that there is something that should be changed, there is something that should be adjusted. And mistakes on our transformation journey, especially on our big and ambitious goals, it's probably our best friend and best supporter, because only thanks to mistake we can actually reach that goal, because mistake will be that one perfect tool that's gonna help us to avoid perfectionism, that's gonna help us to see all those blind spots, and that's gonna help us to make our plan realistic, to make our plan long-term, to make our plan to stick, something that we're not gonna give up, something that we actually gonna be able to reach. And thanks to mistake, our brain changing, which is the key point to any kind of outside or inside transformation, because mistakes, errors, failures, they give brain the reason to change. They give the brain the reason to go outside of this automated autopilot mode and start doing something new. And that's actually the reason why we can be successful, why we can reach our goal, because the only way to have something that you don't have right now, it's actually to change what you're doing. And in case you follow exactly the same program, in case your brain is still on autopilot mode, you're not gonna be able to transform yourself into that person that you would like to be. So I hope you find this video useful. If you like it, please like it and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you soon.